These bosses weren't made to challenge you. They were made to break you. Every fight on this list, it's a rite of passage. They don't care how good your build is, how many guides you watched, or how many times you've cleared a Soulslike. They show up, they destroy your confidence, and they make you question everything. These are the hardest bosses in Souls-like history. Not just annoying, not just tanky. I'm talking about bosses so brutal they left permanent scars in the community. If you've survived these 10, you already know there's no pain like this. At number 10, Fume from Dark Souls 2. You can almost hear the game whisper, "You're not ready," when you walk through this fog gate. Rain doesn't roar, doesn't taunt. He just walks forward with that massive blade in hand, like a death sentence wearing armor. Phase 1 is bad enough. Slow, heavy swings that bait your rolls and punish your positioning. But the second he lights up in black flame, the room stops feeling like a fight. It becomes a ritual, a trial. Now his combos stretch longer. His aggression multiplies. His pressure is suffocating. You can't panic roll, and you definitely can't heal without paying for it. His timing is designed to throw off your instincts, and most players never make it past phase 2. But those who do, they remember it for life. Because Fume doesn't just punish mistakes. He teaches discipline through pain. At number 9, Manus, Father of the Abyss from Dark Souls I. This fight is like stepping into the deepest part of your fear. You drop into total darkness, and there's no warning. Just the sound of rage and void. Then he lunges, massive, grotesque, fast. Manus doesn't give you room to think. His arms swing like towers, his hitboxes are huge, and his chaos magic fills the entire arena. No matter how far you run, he's already there. His aggression doesn't feel scripted, it feels personal. Every hit you land feels earned. Every dodge feels like a miracle. His second phase dark magic, you don't even react to it. You just pray. This isn't a duel. It's survival against an ancient force that never wanted you here in the first place. And if you manage to win, it's not joy you feel. It's relief. The kind of relief that leaves you staring at the screen, wondering how you're still alive. At number 8, Blackblade Maliketh from Elden Ring. The moment he transforms, it's like fighting death itself. His first phase is fast and wild, but manageable if you stay focused. But then, the mask cracks, the sword ignites, and everything shifts. Maliketh becomes a golden storm of destruction. Every slash covers half the screen. Every leap turns into a blade-flinging death spiral. And the worst part? His attacks don't just deal damage. They erase your max health. You dodge one combo, only to get shredded by another before you've even recovered. You try to heal, he's already in your face. He doesn't give you time, doesn't give you space. The screen turns gold and black, and you can barely see what's happening. Beating Maliketh is less about fighting and more about surviving a celestial rage. And when you finally win, you feel like you just walked out of a divine disaster. At number 7, Nameless Puppet from Lies of P. You think you've seen everything. You face horrors, gods, beasts, but then the Nameless Puppet walks into your world, and everything you've learned gets tested in seconds. This boss isn't flashy. He's precise. He doesn't waste movement. He doesn't fall for cheese. His sword strikes are surgical, fast, ruthless, punishing. He parries like a machine, counters like a master, and never gives you a moment to reset. Then, just when you're learning his timing, phase 2 begins. The music spikes. His aggression triples. And now, he's not just reading you. He's chasing you, smothering you. He adapts. He overwhelms. And if you try to play defensively, he corners you with pressure that feels like suffocation. The Nameless Puppet doesn't need giant weapons or flashy magic. All he needs is perfection. Yours, not his. At number 6, Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. Thunder cracks the moment you step through the fog. And you already know, this won't be a normal fight. He descends from the storm on the back of a lightning dragon, raining down fire and fury. You're not just trying to land hits. You're trying to stay on your feet. And even if you manage to slay the beast, the real nightmare begins. Now it's just him, silent, armored, spear in hand. He doesn't flail or spam. He waits, watches, and then punishes with brutal, timed attacks that feel custom-built to ruin your muscle memory. His delay combos are designed to bait your panic rolls. His pressure never drops. And the arena? Just empty sky and stone. No walls, no cover, no comfort. You don't beat Nameless King through brute force. You beat him by learning to move like the storm itself. At number 5, Ludwig the Accursed from Bloodborne. You hear the screams before the boss even appears. And then he charges, a mess of hooves, teeth, and madness. His first phase is animalistic chaos. He doesn't attack. He devours. Wild, screeching, throwing his entire body at you with every move. The camera can't keep up. Your stamina bar cries, and you just roll and pray. But then silence. He lifts the sword, stands tall, and the second phase begins. Now he's graceful, precise. His blade sings, and the fight becomes something tragic. A fallen knight remembering what it meant to be human. You're not just fighting a monster now. You're witnessing a memory unraveling. It's sad, it's beautiful, and it's absolutely devastating. Ludwig is pain from beginning to end. At number 4, Darkeater Midir from Dark Souls 3. This isn't just a dragon fight. This is the dragon fight, the one that makes all others feel like warm-up rounds. Midir is enormous, armored like a tank, and his health bar looks more like a mountain than a meter. You chip away at him, tiny hits that feel like nothing. And in return, he throws out flames, lunges, tail slams, and laser beams that track you like a homing missile. You stay under him, he stomps you. You stay far, he nukes the whole map. There's no cheese, no safe spot, just pure pattern mastery and absolute focus. This boss doesn't test one skill. It tests them all. Patience, damage control, endurance, and mental stamina. And when you finally finish that last sliver of health, you don't celebrate. You collapse. At number 3, Mahlenia from Elden Ring. She heals every time she touches you. Think about that. You spend 2 minutes carefully whittling down her health, then make one mistake, and she recovers all of it in 2 seconds. That alone makes her brutal. But then comes Waterfowl Dance, a move so iconic it broke the internet. A spinning, teleporting barrage of death that deletes you, and your faith in fairness, instantly. And when you somehow survive that, phase 2 begins. Wings are not spread out. Scarlet death covers the arena. Now you're fighting the air itself. Everything you do risks infection. Every step is danger. You don't win this fight with damage. You win it with obsession, studying every frame, every animation, until you can predict her like a storm. This isn't just a boss. It's an era-defining trauma. At number 2, Orphan of Kos from Bloodborne. You arrive at the beach. The sky is gray. The waves are still. And then you hear the cry. You look up, and he's already coming for you. The orphan doesn't have rules. He doesn't fight clean. He flails, jumps, throws his body across the arena like a creature possessed. His weapon is made from his own flesh and his grief. His pain becomes violence, and that violence becomes your nightmare. His second phase is even worse. His screams grow louder. His attacks become lightning fast and barely readable. The arena becomes a blur of sound and suffering. This fight is relentless, emotional, disturbing, and when it ends, you don't cheer. You just sit there, processing what you've seen. Because Orphan of Kos doesn't feel like a fight. It feels like a soul crying out in agony. And at number 1, Sister Friede from Dark Souls 3. This isn't a fight. This is art. A frozen chapel, a whispering scythe, and a woman who doesn't need to shout to kill. Her first phase is elegance. Ice vanishes, perfectly timed slashes. She plays with you like a dancer with a blade. Then the second phase erupts in chaos. Father Ariandel crashes in, roaring, smashing, lighting the battlefield on fire. And just when you think it's over, she rises again. Black flame, glowing eyes, and fury in every movement. This phase is war. The speed, the damage, the pressure, it's unlike anything else in the series. You're dodging black fire and frost, trying to breathe between the onslaught. You're not fighting her, you're enduring her. And when that final hit lands, you don't feel victorious. You feel empty, because you just survived the hardest, most haunting boss in Souls-like history. These bosses weren't made to be fair. They were made to be unforgettable. They turn players into survivors, and survivors into legends. You don't beat them because you're lucky. You beat them because you refuse to give up. So, which of these monsters broke you the hardest? Or did I miss your personal nightmare? Drop in the comments. Smash that like button if any of these fights left you scarred, and subscribe for more brutally honest Souls-like content. Because here, we don't just fight, we endure, we adapt, we overcome. This is Souls-like.